been talking to a few friends of mine, and I've noticed that people are chasing a lot of opportunities. Chasing opportunities, from my experience, is not necessarily the best thing to do. You know, when you chase an opportunity, what happens is you find yourself just going into someone else's dream, into someone else's reality, right? It's like there's a quote that I love that says, chase your own dream. If not, someone will pay you pennies to chase theirs for them, right? And so I really realized in my years in the music industry that the more opportunities you chase, the more time you waste. And sure, one of them may happen, one of them may work out, but a lot of them are, even if they do work out, aren't going to be to your actual end result. The truth is, psychologically underneath, if you're chasing opportunities left and right, there is a chance, now everybody's different, but there is a chance that maybe there's something psychological going on where you don't believe in yourself. Because I didn't believe in myself sometimes, and I found myself saying, wow, maybe I should latch onto this person's reality. Maybe I should jump on their ship. Maybe I should jump on their boat. And when I actually dedicated the next 5 years of my life at the time to one project, becoming monogamous to my own project, to my own dream, to my own initiative, then from there, boy, it took off. And it was like magic. It was like one thing after the next. My cheeks, there were muscles in my cheeks I didn't know existed that were sore from smiling all the time, just completely blissed out. So appreciative because things were just falling into place. I feel like there's some sort of universal law or some science that we haven't discovered yet, similarly to cell phone waves, cellular technology or radio waves. A few hundred years ago, for the past million plus years before then, nobody really knew that existed, and all of a sudden we're able to whisper to each other from across the globe just by putting something up to our face. And so why not that be the same thing for things like mental telepathy? How many times have you been sitting there and you talk about someone that you haven't seen or heard from in 4, 5, 6 years, and then they call you and you're like, what's going on? That is so crazy, right? Well, the same thing can be possibly for this idea of when you are actually doing what you're supposed to be doing. It's like stepping into a raging river that's going 50 miles an hour. You were in a pool, you were in a pond, you were in murky waters, and it was gross, like a swamp, trying to make something work, trying to, swim upstream. And then finally you plop yourself down with your little floaty in the raging stream or the raging river, and you find yourself flying, baby, just flying. And that's what I want for everyone. I just have this deep, continuous passion to help people get really clear and to not make the mistakes I made, because I put myself in some really tough situations, blackmail, sexual assault, just bad manipulation, and that's horrible. And I don't want anyone to go through anything like that because it's painful and it sucks. And the more bliss and the more joy and the more happiness I can help you achieve skipping over the challenges and the pain points that I experienced in my life, then that is a life well lived for me. So if there are opportunities, I'm not saying that every opportunity is bad. I'm not saying that there aren't opportunities out there that are really great, but they should align to your thing and they should help lift you up. For example, one time I was driving Uber and Lyft when I was trying to transition out of being broke and homeless, and I realized that was the best way that I could transition, because I wanted to join what I now call the 3-day-a-week club, where you work 3 days a week making a full-time income so you can focus 4 days, more than half of your week, on your thing, on actually building your dream life, your dream business, whatever it is that you want to do. So I started working for Uber and Lyft, and one day I just so happened to run into one of my very favorite authors. And this author is a multimillionaire, super successful, top, author, podcaster, coach, all these things. And out of nowhere, I just got lucky, ran into him, and preparation meets opportunity. That's another word for luck. People say, oh, you're lucky, you were successful, you were lucky. You randomly ran into someone. Well, you had to be prepared, right? You had to do your all have your education in line, be able to, get really clear on like all the resources that you've accumulated, and reading and writing and speaking, all these things. So preparation, meeting the opportunity. And guess what happened? I got hired to produce this podcast. It became a #1 podcast on all of iTunes. That's an opportunity. So, by no means am I saying at all that I wouldn't recommend for you to do that, to take on an opportunity. But at the same time, just make sure that it's aligned, make sure that's like a lily pad toward the thing that you actually like want to be doing, as opposed to the thing that you like, something that just pops up that seems like it'll help you survive for the next 2 weeks or for the next 2 months or whatever it is. Make sure it's fully aligned with what really deeply drives you. And if you don't know what that is, please do the work. And please have fun in the process. Please have fun in the process, because if you put good energy into something, into the discovery, into the fun, into the playfulness, into the creativity of discovering what it is in this life that really just gets you going, then guess what? You can have that North Star. You can have that compass facing in the direction that you want, so that you're always chasing the emotions. And the last thing I'll say is that exactly. Please. One thing that I've learned is, for the longest time, I was setting goals of like, I want a house that looks like this, or I want enough money to be able to, pay rent in a house so that I don't have to live in, my car, or whatever it was. I always had things goals. But these days, I almost have no thing goals. I have feeling goals, right? My goals are based on how I want to feel. I want to wake up in the morning and I want to be doing activities that bring me bliss and joy and excitement and light me up and make me feel amazing and lit and just stoked and happy and vibrant and all these things. And I want the thing that I create to give those exact same feelings to the people who consume it, the people that find out about it, the people that experience it. So whether you're doing art or dance or music or whatever it is, writing a book or creating a little RV that you drive around the country and, do little shows for people, creating kombucha and selling it, like whatever you're doing, just make it something that really just lights you up to the furthest extent of the universe. And if it's like kind of there, if it lights you up but not like that much, find the other things in your life that you absolutely love doing that might not be related at all, and infuse that in to the thing you're doing. So an example of that would be if you have an RV that you're driving around and you're doing little pop-up music shows, but you also love gardening, maybe you'll turn your RV into a garden, an inside garden, and you can charge people to come in and check it out and take little leaves off of all the little medicinal plants that you have, right? It can be anything. It doesn't have to be what you would consider a business, right? Do what you love, do what lights you up. And then the last piece is, if that thing has some sort of a model, if someone's done it before, if you can borrow from existing models somehow, some way, then really that's when things go crazy. Because I was in the music industry around the time that, technology was taking off in a different way and the whole music industry was confused. I was on the board of directors for a big trade organization, and we would get together with all the executives and we'd sit down and we'd say, what are we going to do? We're losing a bunch of money. We don't know what's happening. This is before Spotify and all that. And people didn't know what to do. And so it was a disrupted industry. And so we were in a very hard to succeed in industry. Yet some people still made it. Some people still made it work. And so just after you've really found that thing, don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. Just feel into it, enjoy it, appreciate it, dive into the knowledge. And then from there, you can just learn more about it. Learn about the revenue model, the business model, all the ways that people make money from it, that they add value. Can you get sponsors? Can you get endorsements? And anything that doesn't feel right, just don't do it. Or if you don't really want to do it, but you have to do it, then find a way to really feel good about it and just really just dive into it and appreciate it and just enjoy it, or delegate it. There's so many options. And so whatever you're dealing with in your life, I want you to know that you're loved so incredibly deeply, and that I'm cheering you on from afar, because anything is possible. Just always redirect to what feels good. And if you need to do something that doesn't feel good, find a way to make it feel good. That's what matters. Find a way to make it feel good, and you're always just super appreciated and respected and loved, and there's always a way. This life is beautiful. It's all about your perspective. And if you're ever dealing with any situation, Amazing questions lead to amazing answers. So please ask yourself the amazing questions. Put that in your phone. Set it as a reminder. Amazing questions lead to amazing answers. So anytime that you're feeling any sort of discomfort or anger or frustration, have that immediately go in the synapse of your brain from frustration or anger or stress over to that quote of amazing questions lead to amazing answers or amazing solutions, and you will find some good solutions. I want to be that person that helps you make yourself feel better at every moment and every day, because this life is a true amazing miracle, and it's absolutely insane that somehow you were born. So enjoy it. I'm about to go do the same thing. One love.